Welcome to Hot Wallet. I'm Rosemary Miller, and today we have a man who really needs no introduction. 6 NBA championships, 6-time NBA All-Star, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and a Hall of Famer, Scottie Pippen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so I hear you have this new NFT project.
Yes.
Can you tell me about it? SP33 collection.
Yes, I can tell you a little bit about it. I teamed up with a team called Comet out of California, and just kind of getting into the NFT space, learning a little bit about what Web3 is. And I studied it for probably 6 months before I sort of approached my agent and asked her, how can we get involved in this? And just so happened that they have a client who basically is the CEO or the CFO of Orange Comet, and it worked out great for us because we feel like that we got with a team that can really represent the NFT space.
So you say you studied it for 6 months. What did the studying include?
Well, just kind of learning really about the space, and trying to figure out, being a guy that's been in the sneaker world his whole NBA career, just trying to figure out how do I get into the game, and just trying to educate myself a little bit about how to get involved and if I even wanted to be involved. But I think it was something that is very fitting for me because I was a player that really had a lot of signature shoes as a player coming out. So this gives me an opportunity to really reach back and have the opportunity to create that collaboration with my fans again.
So what piqued your interest about NFTs or the Web3 space?
Well, I think it's where the future is going, and I want to stay in the game. I guess I still think that I'm very relevant, even though I've been out of the game for almost 20 years. I was a guy that had a lot of signature shoes. My fan base is still pretty strong, so I feel that it's a space that is created for opportunities to reach back and give your fans a little bit of piece of, I guess, of your legacy to some degree.
I love that. So you said you started studying 6 months ago. Scottie, I have to let you know, last year was the gold rush for NFTs. This year, NFT trading is down 97%. Why now? Why now even be interested in investing in NFTs, as you said in a tweet, and creating an NFT project?
Well, I think I got a good team. And when you get a good team, you feel you can win. And I played with some good teams, and I feel like I'm on a good team right now that has the wherewithal, has the tools that we feel that no one can compete with us.
Mm-hmm. So how hands-on or hands-off were you in creating the NFT collection?
Well, I got to say I'm more hands-off than hands-on. I have some great designers, guys that know very much, a lot more than I do about the web space. So I'm more of a guy that, I'm the product, I guess, and they're going to sort of build the NFTs around me. And in this situation, we're doing something with some shoes. Mm-hmm. But we have some other things that we're going to make our NFT introduction more exciting and make people want to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. So I want to say that I feel like I've always been a game changer. So if the NFT market is down, can't go but one way.
Okay, I like that. So one lucky NFT holder will get to visit you in your hometown and take a tour and have dinner with you in Hamburg, Arkansas. Where do you plan on taking them?
Well, I got a farm there for one. So I'm going to allow them to hang out with me and just see what I do when I'm in the dirty South, as I say.
Mm-hmm. In the dirty South. So you have no ideas? You can't give us anything?
I mean, we're going to hang out, mess around with the cows, maybe play a little golf, some relaxing things, maybe fry a little catfish,
Mm-hmm.
So allow them to understand what it's like growing up in the world that I've been in or the world that I live in.
So that world sounds very different from the world of what two NFT holders get to go golfing with you. That doesn't sound like a man growing up in the dirty South golfing. Where did this come from?
Uh, I retired early, so I had to figure out how do I take advantage of all this time that I have. And golf has kept me with a competitive mind, a competitive spirit to some degree. So just something to do to fill that void of not playing basketball again and not having to go to the gym and work out and spend those numerous amount of hours doing that. So now I get to do something that I love with people that I love, and that's playing golf.
No other sports?
No, I don't play in other sports. I mean, I still kind of around basketball. I have kids that are around the game, but I'm no longer a player.
Mm.
But I can teach you.
Yeah, you can teach. Okay. So I want to go back to this partnership with Orange Comet. Could you tell me the tone of how this first started? Were you banging at their door? Were they banging at your door? How did this happen?
Well, I think it all became a little more mutual. I think they were willing to work with me, and knowing that, my legacy, what I've done on the basketball court, they feel that it still have life, that I can still be a game changer, even though I've been out of the game for a while. So the relationship really came because I was curious about the Web3 space, and I've seen guys like Steph Curry, Shaq, guys are coming out with NFTs. So I'm wondering, how do I fit back into that space, and how does that look with me coming out with an NFT? Obviously, I'm not on the TV and playing each and every night, so I'm not as relevant in that space, but I still feel like I'm very relevant in the shoe world. I still have shoes with Nike that are still put out each and every year. They're retros now, but it was something that I felt like that the NFT could take me back into the shoe world, where I've been living pretty much my whole career.
Yeah. Back to the NFT project.
Sure.
If all goes well, how much are you expecting to make from this?
I'm not looking at this to monetize. I'm looking at this opportunity to bring myself back into a space where I can have a close connection with my fan base. I think that the digital world is offering that opportunity to resurface from a digital standpoint. As a player, people supported me buying my shoes and whatever authentic thing that they felt was a piece of me. So I think the NFT space is definitely giving them that same, but from a digital standpoint.
So, Scottie, what is next for Scottie Pippen, the entrepreneur, and what's next for Scottie Pippen, the man?
Well, with my team, myself, we feel like that we're going to change the NFT world, and we're going to win. So right now, that's what's next for me. I'm focusing on being successful in the NFT world.
Thank you so much, Scottie, for doing this interview with me.
Sure, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
We have the CEO and co-founder of Orange Comet. That's the company who collaborated with Mr. Pippen on his NFT project. All right, Dave. Thank you for doing this interview with me.
Great to be here with you.
Yes. So I hear you're bullish on MetaWear. Could you explain why and where that mindset even came from?
Yeah. Well, look, the digital wearable space is a huge opportunity. You're seeing all kinds of companies getting into this. We're living in a virtual digital world, and that's what Web3 is all about. So look at the Guccis, look at the Pradas, look at the Nikes, look at all the massive brands that are now entering the wearable space, because the digital wearable space for us is a representation of who we are in the digital world. The same way what you're wearing today, what I'm wearing, what Scottie's wearing, that represents us in the real world. And we've learned that there's no difference between where this is going in a virtual environment and where we are today. It represents who we are. Our profile pictures represent us. Our avatars are going to be representations of us. So the MetaWear world that Orange Comet's creating is the next step in that. Scottie Pippen shoes, that's one thing, but we're going to be doing lots of wearables as a company at Orange Comet.
Could you expand on that?
Well, we'll have a lot more collaborations, of course, as a company. Look, we're a content play, and that's why I'm so bullish on NFTs and Web3. My background is a TV and film producer. I've been making television and film for 25 years. And under that studio that I built out, we built a very high-end 3D digital design team. And when I looked at Web3 more than 2 years ago, what I realized was that there's a huge opportunity in the space, not to have this be a speculative game. I don't necessarily care about people making money on NFTs. If they want to, that's fine. But that shouldn't be the reason why someone's in this, in my opinion. The reason why Orange Comet is existing is because we're trying to look at this no different than the way we would look at a great TV series or a great movie or a great song or a great book. It's about content. This is a content play. Web3 really is a content opportunity. So for us at Orange Comet, we're looking to take massive brands, legendary athletes like a Scottie Pippen, and bring them into this space if they want to come into this space. And, talking to Scottie, he was passionate about learning about Web3, passionate about wanting to understand what NFTs are. That's first and foremost the most important thing. You never want to partner up with any kind of a brand or a celebrity and kind of shove something down their throat. That never works. It doesn't work in TV, it doesn't work in film, and it definitely doesn't work in NFTs. So when we knew that Scottie was someone who was interested and enthusiastic about learning, and we're all learning about this space, let's be honest. This is a nascent industry. So when he was enthusiastic about learning about NFTs, that's what got our attention. And that's when we reached out to WME, William Morris Endeavor, and Sloan, his agent, because I had a relationship there, and it was a perfect marriage. So there's exciting things happening, even in a bear market, with what's going on. I'll let you ask me another question about the bear market, but that's where we see the future here, is that it just has to move forward. The conversation has to move forward to engage fans in a different way. So there's a value proposition, not a money proposition.
So is there any, I'm looking at the celebrities I've seen you all choose so far. So there was Anthony.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, or Tony, as he likes to be known as.
Yes.
It's hard to call him Tony, but go ahead.
and now we have Scottie Pippen. These are two very different types of people. So what exactly are you looking for?
First and foremost is when we started getting into it with Tony, with Anthony Hopkins, the early conversation was that very similar to what Scottie is, which is, I want to get involved in the Web3. Now, he's an 84-year-old legendary, iconic actor. But he also made the very first NFT movie called Zero Contact, which took place in COVID. So here's a guy who was, again, another perfect statement. He's a legend in his own right, the same way Scottie Pippen is. And he had an appetite, a thirst, an inquisitive a part of their personality that wanted to explore what blockchain is all about, what Web3 is. That has to be the starting point. So when we started to talk to Tony and his wife Stella, in that case, he's an artist as well as a legendary actor, a real artist. His artwork sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars, in fact, in some cases, 7 figures. So we found an interesting way to take his artwork, blend that into the archetypes of the characters he's played over the years. Not Hannibal Lecter, but the monster behind Hannibal Lecter, and turn that into a very interesting and intricate NFT collection. And so the only bond between a Scottie Pippen and a Tony Hopkins, other than the fact that they're legends, are that they both wanted to get into the space. We've turned down more celebrity projects than you can imagine because it's a money grab. It's a short-term play. Scottie said it best. Do we want to make money in this? Absolutely. We're a for-profit company. Scottie is a personality who gets paid to make appearances and, be part of building out his brand in all kinds of ways. But first and foremost is that you need to build a community authentically and genuinely and engage a fan base. This, as he said, gives an opportunity to reach out to fans in a whole unique way. He's had sneaker line after sneaker line with Nike. Now we're going to put that in the digital world. And by the way, one thing that I should mention is these NFTs with Scottie, we're doing 1,000 unique. Each one of these is a very, very elaborate 3D digital design. unlike anything that anyone's ever seen in the world, by the way. But not only are they one of ones in the unique sense, but 33, that number, is a lucky random buyers of these 1,000 NFTs is actually going to get a physical sneaker, a real world prototype shoe that we're creating off of one of the NFTs. So now imagine, again, tying in, and this is the new buzzword, the Fidgetal, right? We talk about community, we talk about utility, but there's a Fidgetal aspect here. So there's blending the physical world with the digital world. So for 33 people, they're going to be holding a hell of a collector's item, a real Scottie Pippen prototype sneaker that hopefully one day we will turn into the next Scottie Pippen shoe. Maybe it becomes a Nike sneaker. Maybe it becomes an Under Armour. Maybe it becomes Adidas. I don't know yet. We're working on that. But there is some real physical aspects to this as well. And I think that is very exciting in blending the two worlds.
It is. But I do have one question. Going back a little bit to what you said, you all have turned down multiple.
Many.
Yes.
Many A-listers that you would be shocked at.
And I want to know some names.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No names.
It's a good question, and good for you for asking me. Because the reason why I don't want to do it is because I just never felt like there was a genuineness in what they were looking to build. And I think part of the Web3 and the decentralized aspect is really about, first and foremost, about the community and the authenticity in that. And that, again, there's no BS. I mean, everyone wants to make money in the space. But in order to build this, and we look at ourselves at Orange Comet, and me as the CEO of Orange Comet, especially with my Hollywood background, is a interesting way of trying to blend Web 2 and Web 3 together. And I'm looking to build an audience that aren't just made of NFT or crypto enthusiasts, but expanding into a general market base. So in order to do that, you really need a partner in a Scottie Pippen or in a Tony Hopkins or in anything. We have almost 40 projects going on next year at Orange Comet with massive brands, studios. We're about to announce a big partnership with DreamWorks and NBC Universal. So it's not about turning the ones down who don't see the real future in this. It's more about embracing the ones that do want to build. And what's exciting for you and I in this space and for Forbes is that there is a very bright future in blockchain technology. Forget the bear market, forget the FTX fiasco, which is just a good old-fashioned scam, it looks like. The fundamentals behind blockchain and NFTs and Web3 are so strong. It's going to and it is changing our life. And it's a parallel of Web 2 from the early days of .com.
Dave, how can you tell someone who's lost their life savings or people have committed suicide over this? How can you tell someone to forget that?
You can't you can never tell someone to forget. What you have to understand is we need clarity. And the clarity has to be that a crypto exchange and maybe one man's, what he looks like he did. And again, look, we don't know yet, right? I mean, I'm not going to put handcuffs on Sam because I don't know. We'll see where that plays out. But what looks to be the case about a crypto exchange is nothing to do with the fundamentals of what Web3 and blockchain technologies. You could have said to me years ago, Lehman Brothers or any of the Wall Street scams that have taken place, or let's go back to the .com eras of the 90s. Do we remember the early days of the .com? It was full of scams. And all of a sudden, and bad actors. And then what do you get? You get unicorns that come out of that. The Amazons, the Yahoos, the eBays. That's where we are. So we just have to understand that when there is a lot of attraction to a lot of money, it will bring out a lot of bad people. And those people will go away because the holes will get plugged, the security aspects will get fixed, and the industry will grow. And let me just say, it's a painful process, and people are experiencing that on a very personal level, and the industry is also feeling that on a professional level. But it will pass because the fundamental part of this, the technology behind all of this, is game-changing. Forget NFTs for a second of Scottie Pippen sneakers or Anthony Hopkins or anything else that we've got going on. How about your driver's license? How about your passport? How about your medical records on the blockchain so they can be authenticated and do away with the fraudulent activity that we see when someone's passport is stolen, as an example. That's what's behind all of this. I'm banging your mic. That's what's behind all of this. So when that is real and that holds up, then you know you've got a future technology that will and is changing the world. And that's what we've got to look at. And we've got to fix the problems. And there are problems and pain that we're going to continue to suffer through. But remember, without the problems, you get an umbrella with a couple of pinholes in it, you're still going to get plenty wet in a rainstorm. We've got to try to figure out how to plug the holes up. And that's what we're looking to do right now in the industry.
Well, Dave, I do have one final question for you. You mentioned Amazon and eBay during the dot-com bubble, and I wonder, those companies are the 1%. Do you think Orange Comet will be the 1% in the Web3 space?
I thank you for that question. Look, I've been making big television shows, and my last project, I filmed Jennifer Lopez I made her documentary. I filmed it for 4 years, just prior to Orange Comet. I left and walked away from that career because I saw a huge opportunity in this Web3 space. Scottie Pippen is a winner, and so am I. I have never done anything in my life that I may have created the Biggest Loser, but I don't feel like the Biggest Loser. And I'm so passionate, and that's what drives me. I've never taken on a television show in my life. I've never created anything for the money in my life. It's all come to me, and I've been very lucky and very fortunate. But I'm very passionate by what I do. And we're going to fail. We're going to have missteps. We're going to learn from those. But as a company, there's only one Disney in the world. And I'm not saying that Orange Comet is going to become the next Disney, because we are building a Web3 entertainment company, but we're sure as heck going to try. And that's where I'm gunning after.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.